deep in the night, in an old apartment complex in Ulsan, South Korea. The rain-soaked alley flickers under a dim streetlight, casting cold, trembling beams. Inside a decaying building, paint peels from the walls, and the musty smell of mold stings the nose. On the third floor, in a cramped studio apartment, a young man sits alone. His hand presses against the cold window pane, the sound of the wind outside mingling with his shallow breaths. His eyes are darker than the night itself. This isn't just a story. This is a horrifying tragedy that unfolded in reality. At 8 years old, his world shattered. His parents' divorce tore his life apart. His father walked out with a worn suitcase. That image burned into the boy's memory forever. His mother never returned. In a small, creaky house, he was left alone, with only his grandmother and younger cousin by his side. But even that didn't last. His grandmother lay in a hospital bed, her existence reduced to the beeping of a heart monitor. His cousin grew distant, leaving him in solitude. The room was always dark. The curtains stayed drawn, sunlight barely creeping through the cracks. Curled up on his bed, the boy stared at water stains on the walls, passing endless hours. At school, his footsteps echoed in empty hallways. No one looked his way. In the hazy glow of a PC cafe surrounded by cigarette smoke, he earned pocket money. But inside, an invisible wound grew deeper, festering in silence. At 21, he enlisted in the military, hoping for escape. But the cold, ironclad rules of the barracks, the snoring of comrades at night, and the gnawing anxiety in his mind offered no salvation. Sleep eluded him. In the dim light of an emergency bulb, he shivered under his blanket, haunted by nightmares. Eventually, he found himself in a sterile psychiatric ward, facing a doctor. Unfit for active duty. Those words carved another wound into his heart. After discharge, he returned to his isolated life. The creaking stairs of the old apartment, the judgmental glares of relatives, their words cutting like knives. You'll end up like your deadbeat father. His cousin's venomous taunts stung the worst. Didn't your mom run away because she couldn't stand you? Those weren't just words. They ripped open every scar he carried. That night, sleep never came. In his dark room, under a flickering fluorescent light, his breathing grew ragged. His cousin's mocking laughter, those dismissive eyes and cruel words echoed endlessly. You'll crash and burn like your dad. He clenched his teeth, staring at a cracked glass on his desk. He couldn't take it anymore. The blue glow of his computer screen lit his face. His trembling fingers typed into the search bar. Most brutal ways to kill. The words carried his rage. He found his answer, sleeping pills and a chainsaw. The word sent a thrill through his chest, a tool straight out of a horror movie. But his mind was made up. I want to end him. Brutally. A twisted smile crept across his face. The pharmacy door creaked as he stepped inside. The fluorescent lights cast shadows on his face. Sleeping pills, please, he said, his voice low and calm. The pharmacist handed him a small packet of pills. He smiled, a cold, unsettling smile. In a public phone booth, his breath fogged the glass. He called a chainsaw supplier. It's 140,000 won. Give me your address, and we'll ship it. The voice on the other end was ordinary, but his heart raced with anticipation. The next day, a package arrived. His hands trembled slightly as he opened it on his worn table. But the chainsaw needed assembly. Panic crept in. The jagged blade felt alien in his hands. He rushed to a nearby locksmith. I'll pay you 20,000 won to put this together. As the locksmith worked, he stared at the blade, imagining the day it would be stained with blood. The chainsaw was ready. He plugged it in. Vrrr. The deafening roar filled the room, vibrating through his bones. It sparked a strange, exhilarating rush. He laughed, a chilling sound, like a beast howling in the dark. He called his cousin. "Come over. I've got a gift for you. Something nice." His voice was warm, but his eyes were ice cold. His cousin, unsuspecting, agreed. "I'll swing by tomorrow afternoon." The next day, he stood at the kitchen sink. He opened a cola bottle and poured in the sleeping pills. The white powder dissolved slowly into the dark liquid. His hands were steady, but his heart pounded. He ordered fried chicken, the greasy smell filling the room, but his mind was consumed by a single thought. The doorbell rang. Ding dong. His heart skipped a beat. "Yo, open the door." His cousin's laughter echoed as he walked in. He gulped down the cola. "Man, I'm thirsty." He had no idea it would be his last drink. An hour later, his cousin slurred, "I'm sleepy." He stumbled into the small room, collapsing onto an old mattress. His breathing slowed. The room grew silent, too silent. 10 p.m. The apartment was deathly quiet. Outside, the wind whispered eerily through the trees. In the darkness of the main room, he plugged in the chainsaw. Vrrr. The roar pierced his core. The blade gleamed faintly in the dim light. His hands trembled, but his eyes burned with cold resolve. He stepped into the small room. His cousin lay in a deep drugged sleep, his chest rising and falling, a faint snore breaking the silence. He raised the chainsaw above his cousin's neck. His finger hesitated on the trigger. Then, he pressed it. The roar erupted as warm blood sprayed across his face. The sticky liquid dripped down his cheeks. The metallic scent of blood and steel filled his nose. His cousin's body stopped moving. His head was severed completely. In that moment, he felt it. Ecstasy and liberation. He picked up the phone. "This is 112. His voice was calm. "I've killed someone." His hands were stained with blood. When the police arrived, the room was a nightmare. Blood-soaked floors, the metallic stench hanging heavy in the air, and the mangled remains of his cousin. The autopsy revealed faint signs of struggle, but it was futile. The chainsaw was too brutal. The court called his crime calculated and heinous. Prosecutors sought the death penalty, but his schizophrenia, troubled upbringing, and voluntary confession led to a 25-year sentence. In 2014, he was 24. Now, at 35, he spent 11 years behind cold prison bars, with 14 more to go. But the darkness still lingers in his heart. He says, "If I meet you in the next life, you'll die again." This isn't just a crime. It's a tragedy born of loneliness, trauma, and suppressed rage. In that dark room, the chainsaw's roar still echoes in his ears. What do you feel hearing this story? Was this man a monster, or a victim turned into one by the world? Somewhere, right now, another chainsaw might be humming.